So, have you ever asked an AI chatbot a question and gotten back an answer that was, well, just kind of weird, totally off base, or completely useless? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to dive into the secret of unlocking the real power of these tools. And here's the twist. It's not about waiting for the AI to get smarter. It's about us getting smarter at how we ask.
All right, let's get right into it. We've all been there. You have this perfect idea in your head, you type it out, and the conversation with the AI just goes completely sideways. It can feel like you're speaking two different languages. It's a classic case of misunderstanding.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We hear about how incredibly powerful these models are, but then they stumble on what feels like a really simple request. So why does that happen? Well, it turns out the answer has less to do with computer chips and more to do with communication.
And these right here? These are the classic symptoms of that miscommunication. You get answers that have nothing to do with what you asked. The content is just bland and generic. Or maybe, worst of all, the AI just confidently makes stuff up. That's what people call an AI hallucination. If you've run into any of these, you know exactly how frustrating it can be.
So, here's the big reveal. The key to fixing all this isn't about waiting for some magical new version of the AI. The power is actually in your hands, right now. It all comes down to mastering the art of the prompt.
And yeah, this art actually has a name. It's called prompt engineering. To put it simply, it's the skill of crafting your questions and instructions, your prompts, so clearly that the AI has basically no choice but to give you exactly what you were hoping for. I absolutely love this analogy. Just think about it. The AI is like this world-class orchestra. It can play anything you can imagine. But if it doesn't have a conductor, and that's you, giving clear, precise directions, all you're going to get is a bunch of noise. A great prompt is your conductor's baton.
Okay, so how do you become that masterful conductor? Let's start with the absolute basics, your foundational toolkit. And the first, most important rule is simple. Clarity is king.
Seriously, if you take only one thing away today, let it be this. Ambiguity is the #1 enemy of a good AI response. The AI doesn't know the context that's floating around in your head. You have to spell it out. Be specific.
Just look at this transformation. A vague prompt like, tell me about cars, could go a million different directions. But the second version, it's vivid, it's specific. It tells the AI exactly what to compare and which factors to focus on. You're practically guaranteed to get a much more useful answer.
Now, this one is a total game changer. Don't just ask for a summary. Tell the AI exactly how you want it summarized. See here? We're asking for 3 bullet points, we're setting a word limit, we're even defining the tone. You're controlling the whole structure of the output. It's brilliant.
And this is so important. Who is this for? An explanation of quantum physics for a 10-year-old is going to be wildly different from one for a university student, right? When you specify the audience, you're telling the AI to completely change its vocabulary, its complexity, and even the analogies it uses.
Okay, so once you've mastered clarity, you can start to level up with some more advanced moves. This is where you really start collaborating with the AI, giving it more material to work with, like context and even some examples.
I mean, a prompt like, write an email about the meeting is just not helpful. It has zero context. But look at the difference when you provide it. You specify who it's for, what the meeting was about, and the key points to include. You're basically giving the AI the background notes it needs to do the job right.
Now, this technique is really powerful. It's often called few-shot prompting. And instead of just telling the AI what you want, you show it. You're basically teaching it the pattern you want it to follow.
See how this works? It's so simple. By giving it just a couple examples of an English word and its French translation, the AI immediately gets it. It understands the task is translation. You didn't even have to use the word translate. It just learns the pattern from your examples.
And finally, you have to remember this. You almost never get the perfect prompt on the very first try. The key is to think of your interaction as a conversation. You say something, the AI responds, and then you refine what you say next based on what you got back.
And this is what that process looks like in action, the refinement loop. You try a prompt, you look at what you get back, and then you think, okay, how could I have been clearer? Should I add more context? Maybe an example would help. Then you try again. It's this back and forth cycle that leads to those truly brilliant results.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, it's really about a fundamental shift in how we need to think about and interact with these incredibly powerful tools. Here's the crucial mindset shift. Stop thinking of yourself as just an asker of questions. You're more like an architect,
carefully designing the request. It's not a command you're barking, it's a collaboration, a dialogue. In this new world, clarity is your superpower. Because at the end of the day, the quality of the AI's answer is a direct reflection of the quality of your question.
And that kind of leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to chew on. As AI gets better and better at just knowing the answers, maybe the most valuable human skill left will be the ability to ask the perfect question. Something to think about.